My beloved child, don't skip this fictional inspirational story because what you're about to hear feels like the beginning of a life-changing chapter. Stay till the end because this isn't simply a story about marriage or moving to a new place, it's about two hearts learning to trust, heal, and build a future together. For years, one person quietly wondered if they would ever meet someone who truly understood them. They had experienced disappointment, unanswered questions, and moments when hope seemed distant. Yet instead of giving up, they chose to keep growing, becoming kinder, wiser, and stronger through every challenge. In this fictional story, that quiet decision becomes the reason their life begins to change in ways they never expected. One peaceful evening, after an ordinary day, they receive an invitation to attend a gathering they almost decide to skip. Something inside encourages them to go anyway. They arrive with no expectations, planning to leave early, but a simple conversation changes everything. Across the room, they meet someone whose calm smile immediately puts them at ease. There are no dramatic speeches or instant promises. Instead, there is genuine curiosity, respectful conversation, and an unexpected sense of comfort. They talk about dreams, family, mistakes, lessons, and the kind of future they hope to build. Hours pass without either of them noticing the time. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. Over the following weeks, their conversations become longer and more meaningful. They begin encouraging each other through difficult days and celebrating even the smallest victories. They discover that trust isn't built in a single moment, it grows through honesty, patience, and consistency. Every conversation leaves them feeling lighter. Every goodbye makes them look forward to the next meeting. In this fictional story, they realize that love isn't about finding someone who is perfect. It's about finding someone who makes you want to become the best version of yourself. One afternoon, while walking through a quiet park, they begin talking about the future. One of them smiles and says, "I've always dreamed of starting over somewhere new, but I never wanted to do it alone." The other pauses for a moment before replying, "Maybe the place isn't what matters most. Maybe it's who you're walking beside." Those words stay with them long after the conversation ends. For the first time, they begin imagining not just a relationship, but a shared life built on mutual respect, kindness, and unwavering support. As months pass, an exciting opportunity appears in another city. It offers new careers, fresh experiences, and the chance to begin a completely new chapter together. The decision isn't easy. They spend evenings discussing every possibility, weighing every challenge, and encouraging one another to be honest about their hopes and fears. They promise never to make important decisions out of pressure or fear. Instead, they choose to move forward only when both hearts feel ready. That promise becomes the strongest foundation they could have built. Then comes the evening neither of them will ever forget. Sitting beneath a sky filled with stars, one quietly reaches into their pocket and takes out a small envelope. Inside is a handwritten note. "If you're reading this, it's because you've already changed my life in ways I never expected. I don't promise a perfect future, but I promise to face every season with honesty, patience, respect, and love. I don't just want to celebrate life's happiest moments with you. I want to stand beside you during the difficult ones too. Wherever life leads us, I hope we keep choosing each other every single day." As the note is read, neither of them speaks for a long moment. They simply smile, realizing that the greatest message isn't about a wedding date or a new address. It's about finding someone who sees partnership as a daily choice rather than a single event. In this fictional story, they discover that the most beautiful relocation isn't simply moving to another city. It's moving from fear to trust, from uncertainty to hope, and from loneliness to genuine companionship. As they walk toward the future together, they understand that a home is not created by walls or streets. A home is built wherever two people choose kindness, communicate with honesty, forgive quickly, encourage one another, and continue growing side by side. And with that realization, they step into their new beginning. Not because they know exactly what tomorrow holds, but because they know they will face tomorrow together. My beloved child, don't skip this fictional inspirational story because after reading the heartfelt letter, they realize that their journey together is only just beginning. Stay till the end because today brings a conversation that will shape every chapter that follows. The morning after receiving the note, they wake with a feeling they haven't experienced in years. The uncertainty that once filled every thought has been replaced by a quiet sense of hope. They read the letter once more, smiling at every line, not because it promises a perfect future, but because it promises something even more valuable, two people willing to face life's uncertainties together. Later that afternoon, they meet at a quiet cafe overlooking the river. The conversation begins with laughter, but soon turns into something much deeper. They speak openly about their greatest dreams and their greatest fears. One admits, "I've always worried that change would take away everything familiar." The other gently replies, "Sometimes change doesn't take your home away. Sometimes it leads you to the place where you'll build one." Those words remain in the silence between them. In this fictional story, they discover that courage isn't the absence of fear, it is choosing to move forward despite it. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. Together, they begin planning what their future could look like. They create lists of hopes rather than expectations. They imagine decorating a small apartment, exploring unfamiliar streets on weekends, inviting family and friends to visit, and creating traditions that will one day become treasured memories. Every plan reminds them that the excitement isn't simply about relocating. It's about building a life where both people feel heard, respected, and supported every single day. As the weeks pass, preparations slowly begin. They sort through old belongings, deciding what to take with them and what to leave behind. During the process, they realize they're doing more than packing boxes, they're making room for a new chapter. Old disappointments, lingering doubts, and fears that once held them back begin to lose their power. Instead of carrying yesterday's burdens into tomorrow, they choose to carry gratitude, patience, and hope. One evening, while watching the sunset together, one quietly asks, "Do you ever wonder why our paths crossed when they did?" The other smiles thoughtfully before answering, "Maybe because we both needed to become the people we are today before we were ready to meet." Neither of them speaks for several moments. They simply watch the sky change colors, grateful that every challenge they once questioned had quietly prepared them for this season of life. Before saying goodbye that night, one reaches into a pocket and hands the other a small envelope sealed with a simple heart. "Don't open this until tomorrow morning," they say with a smile. Curious but respectful, they promise to wait. As they walk home beneath the evening sky, they can't help but wonder what message waits inside. Somehow, they know it won't just be another letter, it will be another step toward the future they are learning to build together, one honest conversation, one shared dream, and one act of love at a time. My beloved child, don't skip this fictional inspirational story because the sealed envelope waiting on the table holds words that neither of them will ever forget. Stay till the end because this chapter isn't about a prediction, it is about two hearts choosing the same future. The next morning arrives quietly. Sunlight slips through the window as they remember the envelope they promised not to open until today. Their hands tremble with excitement as they gently break the seal. Inside is a single handwritten letter, folded with great care. They take a deep breath before reading the first line. If you're reading this, it means I finally found the courage to tell you everything my heart has been carrying. They pause for a moment, smiling softly. Every word feels sincere, written without fear or hesitation. The letter doesn't promise a life without challenges. Instead, it promises loyalty during difficult seasons, patience during misunderstandings, and laughter during ordinary days. It speaks about building a home where both people feel safe enough to be completely themselves. In this fictional story, they realize that true commitment isn't measured by grand gestures. It's revealed through thousands of small choices made every single day. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. As they continue reading, another paragraph captures their heart. I don't want you to change who you are to make me happy. I want us to keep helping each other become the people we were always capable of becoming. Wherever life leads us, I want to keep choosing you, not just once, but every morning when we wake up and every evening before we go to sleep. Those words leave them speechless. Tears fill their eyes, not from sadness, but from gratitude. For so long they believed love meant finding someone perfect. Now they understand that love is finding someone willing to grow, forgive, communicate, and remain faithful through every season life brings. That afternoon, they meet again and spend hours exploring the city where they hope to begin their new chapter. They walk through quiet neighborhoods, visit local cafes, and imagine what everyday life might feel like there. One points toward a small apartment with a balcony full of flowers and quietly says, I could imagine us drinking coffee there every morning. The other laughs and replies, only if we promise to watch every sunrise together whenever we can. They both smile, realizing that happiness isn't hidden in expensive things. It's found in ordinary moments shared with the right person. As evening approaches, they sit beside a peaceful lake watching the sunset reflect across the water. Neither speaks for several minutes. Finally, one gently asks, Are you ready for everything that's about to change? The other reaches for their hand and smiles. I'm ready because no matter where we go, I'll never have to face tomorrow alone again. Those simple words become the most meaningful promise either of them has ever heard. Before they leave, one quietly places a small velvet box into the other's hands. Don't open it until the day we arrive in our new city, they whisper. Curious, they hold the box close to their heart. It isn't the gift itself that matters. It's the hope, trust, and future it represents. As they walk home beneath a sky filled with stars, both of them feel the same quiet certainty. The relocation is no longer simply about moving to another place. It has become the beginning of a life built on honesty, respect, unwavering support, and a love that grows stronger with every step they choose to take together. My beloved child, don't skip this fictional inspirational story because today is the day everything they have dreamed about begins to unfold. Stay till the end because the small velvet box they've been carrying is about to reveal a moment neither of them will ever forget. After weeks of planning, saying emotional goodbyes to family and friends, and preparing for a brand new beginning, they finally arrive in their new city. Everything feels unfamiliar, the streets, the buildings, even the sound of the morning traffic, but instead of feeling afraid, they feel excited. They remind each other that every beautiful chapter once began as something unfamiliar. The first few days are filled with unpacking boxes, arranging furniture, and discovering little cafes and parks around their neighborhood. They laugh over simple things, like deciding where to place their favorite books or which corner of the apartment gets the most sunlight. Every ordinary moment becomes another memory they know they'll treasure one day. In this fictional story, they realize that home isn't created overnight. It's built through shared experiences, patience, laughter, and the willingness to create happiness together. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. One evening, after finishing the last box, they decide to walk to a quiet hill overlooking the city lights. The breeze is gentle, and the sky is filled with stars. They stand silently for a few moments, taking in the view before one of them softly smiles and says, "Remember the little velvet box?" The other laughs, reaching into their pocket where it has been carefully kept ever since the journey began. With a slightly trembling hand, they slowly open the box. Inside isn't a grand treasure or an expensive gift. It's a beautifully crafted key. Beneath it rests a folded note. They carefully unfold it and begin reading. This key doesn't unlock a house. It represents every door we'll open together from this day forward. Every challenge we'll face. Every dream we'll chase. Every memory we'll create. Wherever life takes us, I want our hearts to remain a place where kindness, honesty, and love always feel at home. For several moments, neither of them says a word. The city lights sparkle below as they quietly absorb the meaning behind the message. They realize the key isn't about a building. It's about trust. It's about choosing one another every day, especially during seasons that won't always be easy. As they begin walking back toward their new apartment, one of them gently stops, looks into the other's eyes, and says, "We've talked about our future for months, but there's one dream I haven't spoken out loud yet." The other smiles with curiosity. "What is it?" Taking a deep breath, they softly reply, "I don't just want this city to become our new home. I want every tomorrow to begin with you by my side." A quiet silence follows. Then comes a warm smile, eyes filled with happy tears, and a gentle nod. No dramatic speeches. No perfect words. Just two hearts understanding exactly what the other means. As they continue walking beneath the evening sky, hand in hand, they both know that the next sunrise won't simply mark another day in a new city. It will be the sunrise that begins the most meaningful chapter of their lives together. My beloved child, don't skip this fictional inspirational story because this is the final chapter, the moment every dream, every conversation, and every promise finally comes together. Stay till the end because the most beautiful part of this journey isn't the destination. It's the love that carried them there. Weeks pass after settling into their new city, and what once felt unfamiliar slowly becomes home. The apartment that echoed with empty rooms is now filled with laughter, shared meals, quiet evenings, and dreams about tomorrow. Every sunrise reminds them that they made the right decision, not because life became perfect, but because they chose to face every challenge together. One peaceful afternoon, they return to the hill where they first opened the little velvet box. The view is just as beautiful as they remembered. The city stretches out beneath them, glowing in the warm light of sunset. They smile as they remember every step of their journey, the first conversation, the handwritten letters, the hopes they whispered to one another, and the courage it took to begin again. Looking back, they realize that every delay, every disappointment, and every unanswered question had quietly prepared them for this moment. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. One of them reaches into a pocket and takes out a small notebook filled with every letter, promise, and memory they collected during their journey. Turning to the final blank page, they write together. Today we stop wondering if the future will be kind to us. From this day forward, we choose to make the future kind through the way we love, respect, encourage, and forgive one another. They both sign their names beneath those words and quietly smile. They understand that a successful relationship isn't built by extraordinary moments alone. It's built by ordinary days filled with patience, honest conversations, shared laughter, and the willingness to keep choosing each other. As evening falls, family and close friends gather to celebrate this new chapter. There is music, joyful conversation, heartfelt blessings, and countless smiles. Looking around the room, they realize that the greatest gift isn't the beautiful decorations or the celebration itself. It's seeing the people they love sharing in their happiness. Every person present has, in some way, helped them become the people they are today. Their hearts are filled with gratitude for every lesson, every act of kindness, and every encouragement that brought them here. Before the evening comes to an end, one of them gently takes the other's hand and quietly says, "Years from now, I don't think we'll remember every address we've lived at or every road we've traveled. But I know we'll remember how we made each other feel, safe, understood, respected, and loved." The other smiles through happy tears and replies, "No matter where life leads us next, I promise that home will never simply be a place. Home will always be wherever we choose to walk side by side." They embrace as the people around them applaud, not because everything in life will always be easy, but because they have discovered something stronger than uncertainty. They have found trust, friendship, commitment, and a love that grows deeper with every season they share. As the stars begin to appear above the city, they walk home hand in hand, carrying nothing but hope in their hearts and gratitude for the journey that brought them together. In this fictional story, the greatest miracle was never a prediction about the future. It was two ordinary people choosing kindness over fear, honesty over silence, and unwavering commitment over doubt. And from that day forward, every new morning became another opportunity to write a beautiful story together, one filled with compassion, laughter, resilience, and love that continued to grow with every passing year.